Hello there. Again, my name is Catherine Anders. I have the privilege of being the artistic director and events coordinator here for the Reese Theater. I am so excited to welcome you to the Reese Theater, whose first time, who hasn't been in here before. We're so glad to welcome you. It's a great time to come out and see our school board candidates answering some questions in our block of health stage. I do want to go over some of our safety concerns. We do have exits on either side of the stage, and we have an exit on the doors that you came in. If you need to smoke, please exit the theater and go to a designated smoking area. If there is any emergency, we need to evacuate, let the children go first, and the panic after that. I am so excited to welcome the school board candidates here this evening. We had a great turnout for our regular candidate night, and we're so excited that we were able to bring the school board candidates here as well. I hope everybody is going to give enough information to make a sound decision on election day. Again, if you have any concerns or if you need some more popcorn, concessions are located in the lobby that you came in. I hope you enjoy the school board candidate night.
Naomi, you're with Stacy.
Good evening. My name is Angel Orgilla, and I will be the Master of Ceremonies this evening. Other members of the PHS Speech and Debate team include Maddie Harness, who will be asking questions, and Tyler Travis, who will be timing. The first question we ask has a 33-minute response time with it. The next 5 questions will have a 90-second response time. When there are 30 seconds left, Tyler will hit the gavel 2 times. When your time is up, Tyler will say stop. Tonight's questions were written by the 3 of us who are here tonight with the help of and guidance of our coach, Mr. Dan Tyree. Now, let me introduce the 3 candidates. Please stand when I call your name. First is Robin Kupka. Next is Naomi Polizak. And finally is Stacy Patrick. There is one more candidate, Dalton Ticklenberg, who sent this message. I have chosen to not participate tonight. I am going through a divorce and need my evenings to get things in order. Now, I would also like to remind the audience that if you brought signs or yell out in the audience, you will be asked to leave. I would also like to thank Randy Danielson and Katie Anders for the use of the historic Reese video. So let's get started with the first questions. Maddie.
So your guys' first question is to please introduce yourself and then explain why you want to run for the Plymouth School Board of Trustees. You'll have 3 minutes to respond.
Start with Stacy.
You guys can go down the line. We're going to start with Stacy.
My name is Stacy Patrick. I have been in the Plymouth community since 2006. I'm married to Paul Patrick, who's a longtime educator and coach for Plymouth High School. Together, collectively, we have 6 children. His 3 oldest, Abby, Elise, and Julia, all graduated from Plymouth High School. Nick is the next one in line, and he is now a 3rd-year cadet at CMA. My daughter, my oldest daughter, Emma, is a sophomore at Plymouth, and then Lillian is a 6th grader at Riverside. So we have dogs too. I don't know if you're supposed to add that in about ourselves, but my background is that I was went to Ball State University. I have a double major in biology and German. I then went on to get a master's in education at Indiana University, Bloomington, in higher education and student affairs. Currently, I work at Indiana University School of Medicine. I am the director for medical education there. I direct all efforts at the School of Medicine. I do faculty recruitment and retention. I do student counseling and advising, and I also do curriculum design and management across all 4 years. Why I want to run for the school board is that I've had extensive involvement in the school corporation at this point. I've been on the Webster PTO and served also as an officer. I was also currently involved in Riverside PTO. I have served on a number of the corporation ad hoc committees, including facility planning. On that team, we also recommended the building of Lincoln Junior High, which we now have. I've been on the Webster Review Committee and also the PHS Student Handbook Review Committee. For our students in the audience, they might know my efforts through Accommodate to Prom, which is an effort we put on through Tri Kappa, where we offer free prom dresses. So that event, ladies, is coming up in February, sort of thing. So, of course, I'm a team parent also for the PHS swim and tennis teams as well. So thank you for that.
I am Naomi Podolsak. Words to describe you: Christian, proud American, Plymouth alum, wife, mom, sister, educated, transparent, leader, and I hold integrity and truthfulness to the highest degree. So growing up, my father was a supervisor in a factory and my mother was a receptionist. We were taught to work, to be honest, and to love life. My husband, Matt, and I have been married 17 years and have 4 children, Ethan 14, Emma 12. And I have 2 bonus children, Austin 27 and Devin 25. I've lived in Plymouth my whole life. I've attended Webster, Lincoln Junior High, and obviously Plymouth High School. From Plymouth High School, I attended Valparaiso University, earning my bachelor of accounting degree. After that, I began working at RBC Barron's as a staff accountant. In 2015, I went back to school and I earned my Master of Business Administration from Indiana Wesleyan University. And just recently, after 22 and a half years, this past May, I left my job at RBC Barron's as an on-site controller and became the Chief Financial Officer at Marshall County. So I've been on the board and on the executive committees of many organizations, one being Plymouth Wesleyan Preschool, the Marshall County Builders Association, Daughters of the American Revolution to the Hidden River Wethoken Chapter, Children of the American Revolution, Stephen Wilcox Society, the Bread of Life, and just recently Plymouth Wesleyan Daycare and Operation Quiet Comfort. I believe that the school board should promote 4 items: responsibility, community, self-determination, and back to basics. Responsibility. Education should be a partnership between school and family, teacher and student. Teachers should be mentors. As a student of PHS, I wanted to become a nurse. A decision my senior year changed my entire outlook on life. I took Miss Hines accounting class. Her teaching and mentoring led me to become an accountant. Community. Education should introduce children to values, ideas, and teach the history of the United States. Permit the student to find their own truth. In 2021, my 6th grade daughter's class was the sole recipient of a classroom without borders discussing such topics as COVID-19, weather, and holidays with 2 different Vietnamese classes. She not only learned that the freedom of speech is not allowed for all countries, but living in the United States is a privilege. Self-determination. Education should allow students with different viewpoints without fear of retaliation. Standing for what you believe is right. Not only will the student gain self-respect.
Stop.
There's no.
I did at 2:30.
I thought they were recording before.
At 2:30.
You did.
Give her 30 more seconds. Okay.
Okay. The student will gain self-respect and gain respect from others for standing their ground. And then back to basics. Education should prepare the student for adulthood by promoting what is best for the student. Not every student is created the same. Some may go to college, the military, or work immediately after graduation. What is important is teaching life skills, math, reading, writing, financial basics. Thank you.
Okay, my name is Robin Hepka. I grew up in Plymouth and of course attended Webster, Washington, Lincoln Junior High, and PHS. I'm a proud graduate of Plymouth Community Schools. I also graduated from Indiana University with a degree in fashion merchandising. I have 2 children who also went through all of the schools, Webster, Riverside, Lincoln Junior High, and Plymouth. My daughter was part of many of the programs that we have here, our speech team. My son was a manager for many sporting teams. I have a strong sense of community. I'm very proud of Plymouth and happy to live here. I think that we have many opportunities that people don't realize. They take it for granted if they've been here their whole life. The things that we have that they honestly don't have in some other communities and school systems. I was appointed to the school board for 4 years earlier, and I left at the time I finally felt like I knew what I was doing. So I would like another opportunity to actually serve when I feel I can do the best job possible because I know more what's expected of me. Thank you.
This time we'll be starting with Naomi Polisak, and it will be 1 minute and 30 seconds to answer. Your second question is, what is your vision for the corporation, including both the short-term and long-term goals?
So as an accountant in the short term, I'd like to review the financial position of the corporation for areas of improvement. In 2021, Plymouth applied for the ESSER 3 grant. So the question is, was the funds received and was the funds spent appropriately? Are the school taxes collected being used in the proper manner? The 2023 budget estimate is at 40 million. Of the 6 million that is debt payments for 15%. 25% is for school operations, leaving only 60% of the budget to teach our children. I have found that the financials are not discussed, only disbursements sporadically during the board meetings. Secondly, I'd like to review the mission statement. It states Plymouth Schools commit to doing whatever it takes to maximize academic and social achievement of every individual as measured by state and community standards.
30 seconds left.
Plymouth Community Schools is meeting the state standards in math and reading. But shouldn't we be doing better? That's where I'm coming from. In the long term, Plymouth Schools needs teacher retention. We need to understand why our teachers are leaving and what we can do about it. An article found from Poultry's indicated that the natural turnover is 16%. The average cost of retraining is $9,000. Of 237 teachers, that's 38 teachers, or approximately $342,000 a year. And lastly, we need to work to improve our test scores, and many teachers have expressed frustration that they only have time to prepare and exceed the knowledge needed for test scores.
Stop.
Robin?
Okay, and that's, okay, my vision for PCSC, in the short term and the long term, I also would like to work on retaining teachers, have less turnover. I think the students need more continuity and we want to keep our excellent teachers. I think that the new budget hopefully will go a long way in starting that process. So once again, we can be one of the better paying schools in our area. For the long term, I would like Plymouth schools to be kind of a destination school now that students can go to whichever school they would like in the district. They don't have a problem, switching because of the many extra programs that we offer. We have many excellent opportunities for our children, aviation, as I said before, our speech team, our band. We have so many offered in collaboration with our community. So that's what I would like to see.
For my short-term goals, kind of the problem with going last, right, if I hear PC again, because of what I do at the School of Medicine with retention and recruitment of our teaching faculty, that is something that's at the heart of what I want to see happen with any level of school here and for the school corporation. It's especially important because I've been on the front line of starting a program where we had no faculty. Our campus was just a 2-year program. We had no teachers in the 4th year. So I went from having a faculty base of 0 to have 350 positions to teach from now. So that effort meant that I had to hit the pavement. I had to show myself in front of physicians in different groups to buy into that. And some of that is what we need to be probably doing at our faculty level, where we're engaging with the student training programs at various colleges. For long term, I was thinking I was looking more at educational outcomes. We know it's hard to move the dial when we talk about standardized tests, especially when standardized tests are new and we only have very limited data. And then we're going to add a pandemic on top of that. This is a nationwide issue that's occurred across the United States with lower standardized test scores. But I know as a community and with the support of our teachers and our peers in administration that we can move that dial in the correct direction.
Stop.
Okay.
This time we're gonna start with Robin, then go to Stacy, and then go to Naomi. Your third question is, what are some attributes that strengthen the Plymouth Community School Corporation? You guys will all have a minute and 30 seconds to answer.
Okay, I think our greatest attributes are our teachers and our community participation. We are very fortunate to have teachers that have stuck with us throughout the wage issue and felt committed enough to Plymouth in this community to stay with us, and hopefully will going forward. And our community does so much for our school system. We have so many businesses that are participating in our trades. We have businesses that donate to the speech team, to the band, to different functions. And I just feel like those are our best attributes.
Some of the attributes that I thought about were that we are a one community school. We don't have the same pull on resources like the South Bend Community School Corporation have high schools. We have one high school and for that matter, one junior high to then funnel our resources to. Another one is that I am not from Plymouth, but as my children have gone into school and I started knowing families and parents, this is very much a generational community. I think that's a strength. In other words, if a child is going through school, perhaps their parents were also graduates and maybe even their grandparents were graduates of the school. That meant that if they went away after they graduated, they went away to college, they decided to come back to Plymouth to raise their children. I think that's an amazing strength to Plymouth School Corporation. The size of our school system is very doable in the sense that it's big enough to offer an array of educational programs, and yet it's small enough for students to be able to participate. We all know of the Carmels and the Hamilton Southeasterns and those kinds of schools where it's a deadly competition to be able to go out simply for sports or extracurriculars. And so our community really offers the opportunities for our students to be involved at all levels of school.
Stop.
Again, going back to some of the same things. I feel that teachers are our largest active, our biggest attribute to the Plymouth Community School Corporation. Many of the teachers I know or have known employ the corporation values of commitment to students, caring, high expectations, team player, integrity, and enjoyment. These teachers are the ones that later in life are your favorite teachers. It's not maybe for what they taught, or what they said, or what they did. Teachers need to be developed and empowered to teach for what they teach, what they need to teach. And as a parent, I've appreciated the safety additions to the buildings. In 2018, the Indiana Department of Education released a checklist of safety items that was requested in these buildings. And if one reads through the list, many of the items can be found in each of the buildings. Identifying tornado safe zones, exterior door locks, during school hours, visitor ID checks, background checks, camera installations, mass notification systems, and law enforcement presence.
This time we will begin with Stacy and then just go on down the line. Your fourth question is, what issues do you believe the district needs to address in its academic program and offerings? What changes would you recommend? You will all have a minute and 30 seconds to answer.
One of the issues that I would like to see addressed is with our AP offerings. I want to make sure that all of we have an abundance of those offerings at Plymouth High School, and we're very fortunate to do that and to be able to have the faculty that can offer that. The next level to that is as students are entering these classes, understanding the expectation or being able to design a course such that they are able to achieve college credit. There's nothing more important right now than to reduce these students going into college or other academic training or vocational training. We want to see that students can enter into these courses by going towards college credit, so that would reduce even more the debt that they would have to take. So I'd like that to see one outcome, that we can have a higher percentage of students obtaining college credit. On the other end of it, I would like, knowing that I have one daughter who is in AP courses, and I have another daughter that's just struggled quite significantly since kindergarten in school, and not having the academic support that she needs, whether that's outside of the school system providing a resource that I need to pay for as a parent, or something within the school system so that we can better identify those learning issues at this point.
So as I said earlier, we need to get back to basics. Math, writing, reading. To create the correct learning environment for each student, I feel differential instruction should be utilized. Differential instruction is the tailoring of instruction to meet individual needs using ongoing assessment. In this manner, English language learners, gifted students, and struggling students can be taught at different speeds, but will learn the same information. The largest group of students that will benefit are from the learning disabled. So while at Webster, my children use several of these reading and math apps on their iPads that allow them to move forward at their own paces. So my daughter in first grade was reading almost at a fifth grade reading level with that app. So I'm not saying electronics it should be the main teacher, but I think that it helps with the differential instruction approaches, like assessing the students to adjust their instruction, strive to make lessons engaging and meaningful, and providing options for knowledge and demonstrations while the students can be more engaged.
Well, as Stacy said, I think that we need to work on having more dual credits in AP classes, because my daughter graduated with a full year's worth of college credits, which really helped her, debt load, because almost anybody is gonna have debt now that goes to college. It's not like when I was in school. I also think for our academic programs, we need to work really hard about keeping our teachers, retaining our teachers and our support staff, so there is continuity for the students. And I really, I think we're doing an excellent job on working in our collaborations with local industries for our trade courses. But I would like to expand that so that, every student feels like they have something that they can do after college, after school, and even if they don't go to college, and they can get a well-paying job that will support their families and they'll feel a good sense of self-worth.
For question 5, we will start with Naomi, then go down to Robin, and then go to Stacy. So your 5th question is, Plymouth Schools is a very diverse school population. If elected, will you support every student's identity as we continue to grow more diverse? You all will have a minute and 30 seconds to answer this question.
So every school has different groups or identities. Brainiacs, athletes, the popular crowd. The trends may differ from the 80s or 90s, but they're still similar. Although not scholarly, Wikipedia defines identity as the qualities, beliefs, personality traits, appearance, and/or expressions that characterize a person or a group. Our current culture is allowing children to choose their own genders, dress as animals, immerse themselves in CRT, or push SEO. So an article written by Aaron and al. Indicates brain maturity during adolescence, ages 10 to 24, are influenced by heredity, environment, nutritional status, sleep patterns, physical, mental, economic, and psychological stress, drug abuse, and sex hormones. So the medical community has established that the brain undergoes a rewiring process that is not complete until about 25 years old. So allowing the whims of students to control the school system needs to stop. Forcing teachers to use pronouns only damages the parent's authority. Listening to a student meow or bark during instruction interrupts teaching to all. Every teacher needs to be respected. Every child needs to understand basic principles. The teaching staff has core values. Why not the students? Commitment to education, caring, high expectations, being a team player, integrity, enjoyment. We all can relate.
I believe that every student should feel comfortable in their own skin. While I don't relate to the students who, as said, want to be an animal or whatever, students are testing their boundaries and different things. And I feel like everyone should be allowed to be comfortable and feel that they're accepted as who they are, as long as it's not interfering with other students and with teaching in the class. I just feel like children need to feel that school is a safe place where they can be who they want to be, because they are testing things and they need that opportunity to learn and to grow.
For this question, I actually at the school of medicine, in the first week of orientation, I teach the curriculum on diversity, equity, and inclusion. And the reason why we teach this curriculum is because of establishing trust with patients. So patients will come to our medical students or our physicians and have very sensitive information that's just between the patient and the doctor. That's the only two people that it's between. But a trust has to be established so that appropriate care can happen. If I replace the word patient with student in this case, the students have to be able to trust administration, the board, teachers, and any support personnel that are within the schools so that they can have a progressive and complete education, whatever that might look like. And so to me, it's especially important that not only is it diversity is valued, but also as part of this question, they have to have equity and they also have to be included in a more complete way.
For our last and final question, we're gonna start with Robin and then go to Stacy and Everett. So our last question is, when voting on a proposal that impacts students, teachers, and the community, what do you prioritize while deciding how you are going to vote? You will all have a minute and 30 seconds to answer. If you guys agree with that.
Well, obviously, as a member of the school board, I would hope that we would all prioritize what the students need. But I also would hope that the teachers and the community would want the same thing. I think that I would not like to see anything where voting for the students takes away from teachers or community. But my first priority is the student, because that is who we are supposed to be serving when we're on this board.
I thought this question was especially hard of all the ones that we were given tonight, because I do feel similar to Robin on that issue about how to tease out which would be more important. I think it also depends on what the issue is at hand. One of the things that I had thought about is how I help, in some cases, a student learn. We use what's called a web diagram, for those of you who might know what that is. And if you don't, it's where essentially you have a circle, and then you have these wheel spokes that come out from the center of that center circle. What we ask the students to do is place a concept in there that you're trying to learn. And from those spokes that go around that concept is that you try to write down everything that you know, everything that you've learned to this date. And when you can't fill out any more spokes, that's where you know your learning gap is, to make those bridges and those connections as we try to get them to be an adult. I feel like this is what has to happen at the school board level. Our issue has to be at the center, and when I can't fill out one of those spokes about how that impacts one of these constituent groups, then I need to ask that constituent group more information, whether it's a parent focus group, whether it's engaging with our community in some way in all aspects of our community. But if we can't figure out how that issue affects it, we have more work to do.
The Council of Nonprofits states board members are the fiduciaries who steer the organization toward a sustainable future by adopting sound, ethical, and legal governance and financial management policies as well as making sure the nonprofit has adequate resources to advance its mission. So to answer the question bluntly, without a situation, I can't determine which one would be prioritized. As a voting board member, I will use my duty of care to ensure the prettiest use of assets, including facility, people, and goodwill. So who will this decision affect? How much will it cost? What will it do to the reputation of Plymouth Community School Corporation? I will use the duty of loyalty, ensuring transactions are advancing the mission. I will make decisions in the best interest of the corporation, as well as the students, as well as the community and the teachers. So will the decision go against the mission statement? I will also use the duty of obedience, ensuring obeying of laws and regulations while adhering to the corporation's purpose and mission. And will the decision cause any legal issues? What is it required from national or state agencies? So each proposal will need to be reviewed for the best interest of the student, teacher, or community before an accurate vote can be placed.
Thank you for attending tonight's school board candidate night. Running for school board is a very important position, and it is important to know who we are electing. One more time, I would like to thank Randy Danielson and Katie Anders for letting us use this facility. Have a nice evening, and thank you for attending.